So we've had a few days to run through a bunch of different guns, and when a new update drops, I try my best to go through as many different guns and builds to find the best possible setups for each one so I can share with you guys. And today, I got a banger of a list. I found 5 separate builds that, quite frankly, has basically no recoil, and not even on some clickbait type beat. I'm talking, these things almost don't even move when you're shooting. It's kind of scary. So let's get right into it. My name is LJ, and welcome to Battle Royale Guides. So usually we have a bit of a longer list, but I wanted to keep this list short and have only the best guns I found so far, not have any filler. So trust me when I say that all 5 of these builds are insane and worth the try. Also, for you PC guys, make sure to set your FOV to affected, as this gives you less visual recoil. If you're ever wondering why streamers seem to have way less recoil than you, this setting is probably the reason. But anyways, to start off this list, we're going to be looking at the Automaton. From the get-go, I knew this was going to be one of the best guns in Warzone. It might not hit as hard as the others when it comes to damage, but it legit doesn't move when you let it eat. So it's still very viable, and in my opinion, it's my favorite one of the 5. But that's just me, and the others might feel better to you. You'll just have to test each one out yourself. So as for the attachments, we got the F8 stabilizer, the Anastasia sniper barrel, the G16 2.5x scope, ZAC skeletal stock, the M1941 hand stop, 75 round drums, lengthened ammo, stippled grip tape. For the first perk, we got tight grip, and on the second, we have on hand. This is by far the best build I have found for this gun, and while I said it takes a lot of shots to down someone, the lack of any recoil makes it very easy, and honestly, you don't really notice. It downs people quick and just feels really good in your hands. Okay, moving on to number 4, we got the Cooper Carbine. If you watched the last video, you would have seen I had another Cooper build in that, but that build was to be used as an SMG, and this one is more for longer range. This gun is honestly overpowered, and you can use it in any scenario depending on how you build it. The close range build I have is probably the fastest killing gun I've ever used in Warzone, and this build is not far behind. It shoots fast as hell and doesn't move when built right, so let's get into the attachments I'm using on this longer range build. So we're using the F8 stabilizer, the 22-inch Cooper custom barrel, G16 2.5x scope, Cooper 45W, M1941 hand stop, 45 round mag, lengthened ammo, polymer grip, and for the first perk we're using vital, and as the second perk we're using on hand. So like I said, the gun is probably the best overall gun in Warzone right now. You could literally run around with a long range build as a primary, and then that short range build I had in the other video as your secondary, but you'd run out of ammo quick. So probably not the best idea, but the fact that it's viable in any scenario is just crazy to me. Abuse it while you can, because I'm sure we'll see a nerf incoming soon, but until then, this gun is going to be in most of my loadouts. Currently, I have the short range build in literally every class I use as a secondary. All right, at number 3, we got a little bit of a hidden gem, the AS44. I haven't seen too many people using this one or talking about it, but it slaps. I knew it was good when I picked up a ground loot version of it, and it kicked really hard, but it killed the whole enemy squad quick, and so I made it a point to rank it up and try building it out to make it so it didn't kick really quite as much. And I am really glad I did. It's gotten an insane fire rate like the Cooper Carbine, and while it might not be as good overall like it, I think this gun will make its way to the top after a balancing update. The reason for that is it's not really picked too much at the moment, but it is a fire gun, so it definitely shouldn't be slept on. The build I got going for it currently is the F8 stabilizer, 615mm barrel, slate reflector scope, ZAC skeletal stock, M1941 hand stop, lengthened ammo, polymer grip, sleight of hand, and fully loaded. So like I said, this is what I got for it for now, but I haven't really tested it as much as the other guns, and also since I think it's going to need a balancing update before it's the best, it may end up needing some other attachments to make it top tier. So if you have a build you think is better for it, let me know in the comments so I can try it out. A sick AS44 build would be awesome, and if you guys have one for me to try, I'd love to hear from you. Coming in at number 2, we got the MG42, and the person that put me onto this one was Symphony. I saw a clip of his on Twitter, and it literally looked like it had zero recoil. And I know us content creators throw that term around a lot, but I mean, it really looked like it didn't move. Like, I thought the video was paused for a split second. It was actually not moving. This is one of those builds where it's going to get annoying when everyone figures it out. So hop on the train and rock it with me. The build I got is the MG42, MX silencer, VDD 890mm barrel, G16 2.5x scope, VDD 64M stock, the M1941 hand stop, 125 round drum, lengthened ammo, polymer grip, sleight of hand, and tight grip. I'm gonna be real, anyone with crazy aim is gonna wipe entire teams in one mag with this thing. Considering it has a 125 round drum, you might even be able to run through 2 teams if you're lucky, which is kind of just insane. And finally, at number 1, we have the STG-44. This gun out of the gate was insane. On Vanguard, it was easily the best, and even though they said the balancing will be different for Warzone, it is also crazy in that too. The build I use is exactly the same as the one I have in Vanguard, except I don't use the damage mags in Warzone, as it kind of gives it a little bit too much recoil for the extreme long-range fights you find yourself in Warzone. So the build I'm running right now for the STG is the F8 stabilizer, the 760mm barrel, the G16 2.5x scope, VDD 34S weighted stock, the M1941 hand stop, 60 round drum, lengthened ammo, polymer grip, vital, and on hand as the second perk. The fire rate on this build isn't quite like the other guns in this list, but it is a very controllable and accurate rifle that is easy to use. It may fit a playstyle that is a bit slower, but don't let that deter you if you're a more fast-paced player, because it definitely has the movement to keep up with even the most cracked players. I just say it might fit the more slower playstyle players as opposed to the Cooper, which I feel like you got to be a tryhard to really get the most out of that gun. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. All of these guns are honestly so easy to use, so I have no doubt once you level them up and get these builds the way I have them, you'll be dominating lobbies. I think the only one I don't like too much is that MG, not because of the recoil, because let's be real, it moves the least out of all these guns, but I'm talking about the reload time. I always have a hard time getting used to LMGs with how long they reload. I always end up reloading and getting smoked because I'm just standing there reloading for 10 minutes. But honestly, if you can get past that extreme long reload time, you're golden. But yeah, it'll take some getting used to if you haven't been using LMGs. I've always been the sniper type, and so the long LMG reload times, they always get me. And as usual, if you guys enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a thumbs up on it. And if you haven't already, don't forget to smash that sub button and notification bell so that you never miss an upload, because we're going to be going really hard on new videos and guides for Warzone. It's been amazing coming back to this channel. I want to be on top of things when it comes to Warzone and eventually branch off into other games as well. So it's going to be a grind, and we will constantly upload for every update, and you won't want to miss out. Anyways, that's enough for me. And as always, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you on the next video. My name is LJ, and this has been Battle Royale Guides.
Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh, you matter what, add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh, you matter what, add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up, matter what, told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck.